Hey guys, Colbert here. Welcome back to another Racial Legends video. We've got a new champion coming in today, Dark Kael. He is unlocked by completing, acquiring 4 champions from the normal Doom Tower rotation. So if you manage to do all the secret rooms every single day and get 4 champions, your 4th one will be Dark Kael. It takes a ton of time, and if you have that kind of dedication, then you don't really need an intro into this champion. But if you're looking at this video to see, okay, is he worth the effort to get all those champions and then get Dark Kael, then we're gonna look into how his skills work. And I think this champion will not be your normal nuker champion. He will be mostly used for killing bosses in dungeons and killing, of course, the clan boss. The reason for this, guys, is his unique skill set. Okay, he's got a very unique skill set in the sense that he almost does everything that you want coming out of a champion for bosses specifically. Okay, A1 activates poisons and HP burn. So what the activation does is it instantly does the damage that those skills are supposed to do. So if you've got poisons, it's going to activate 2 poisons. If you have 1 poison and 1 HP burn, then he's going to do that instead. Not specifically 1 poison, but if you have an HP burn, he's going to do the poison and the HP burn. Made it clear. And then the A2 applies a decreased attack on an AoE basis, which is insane for dungeons. And then also increase the duration of debuffs by 1 turn, which is great, because that's what you want to have. And actually it makes that decreased attack from 2 turns to 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, which is insane. Basically, you ensure that you have decreased attack always on the enemies. This will definitely help you for the hard version of the Doom Tower as well, if you're having issues in there. And then reality asset, his A3 is a poison placement, so it doesn't care about his affinity, it only cares about his accuracy. So if you have low accuracy and you happen to get a resist, then that's why you got to resist. You cannot get a weak hit from these. So 3 poisons and a poison sensitivity, so 4 debuffs coming out of Dark Kael. That's an insane amount of poisons plus the utility of that poison sensitivity. And then we have Delirium. Okay, Delirium, this passive decreases critical rate of enemies under 2 or more poison debuffs. So if you have 2 or more, then it means the boss will not be critting anymore. So the clan boss has a base 15% chance to critical rate to crit you. He will not be able to do this anymore, and that's insane because it helps you prolong the duration of the fight. It helps ensure that you will not die, especially if you're doing a non-unkillable team that goes for more than 50 turns. Those crits can be a huge damage on your champion. So this will ensure that those kind of setups work. What I will be showcasing in this video will not be those kind of setups. I just want to see what kind of damage we're looking at from a clan boss team that has, let's say, a Vizier in there, an HP burn champion, and of course Dark Kael. And then the unkillable has to be in there as well, just so we see the full 50 turn duration of this. For the first kind of build that I did on him, this is just a Helm Smasher build. Let's just go in there and just see what he can do with 4,000 attack. Very basic. Okay, 100% crit, 209 critical damage. This is nothing crazy. Just putting a savage set on him, which I did not even complete. I need to complete it, and and we'll go in there in the campaign and test him out. Okay, we're in the campaign. Just do a basic test of his damage. We're gonna throw him in the arena too. Honestly, you will not be building this champion with heavy damage in the sense of nuking out the enemies. He'll be there to ensure that your poisons land. He's going to have enough accuracy. If you're going to be using him for the hard version of the Doom Tower, you'll need 350 plus accuracy, which is will make it very hard for you to get your other stats, so critical rate and critical damage. So let's see what his A2 does. His A3 will do nothing. It will not even hit. Let's look at his A1 first, okay? Which is the single target. Look at that. 15,000, nothing too crazy. Of course, that's expected out of a default skill. And then his A2 should do a little bit better here. And we did about 50,000, which is not bad. Considering we don't have a decreased defense, I don't have the best gear on him. We could have had even better gear on him. 300% critical damage just to see those big numbers. I would say he would crit about 80,000 if he did have proper gear, which isn't that bad. So it makes me wonder, should I go and use him in the arena just to test out this this potential build for Dark Kael. So let's see if he's really worth it to be your nuker as well. I wonder. I did not have that into my consideration when I started building this champion. Like, I didn't consider, okay, should he be a nuker? Obviously not, because of his skill set. but we might be able to see something here. So we'll get a defense down here, maybe. Defense down, attack down, that's great. Getting attacked here because he's pretty slow, but we'll get a speed boost going. All right, we managed to get an attacking. We've got the increased attack. There's a defense down on the enemies, not all of them. Seeker is there. He's gonna be annoying. Hopefully he won't apply the increased defense. Let's see what he does. Okay, not that bad. He killed all the enemies. Obviously, couldn't see the numbers. It's even on 1x. This is very slow. So let's go and do another fight after this, and check out Dark Kael in a different fight. Let's try out this team instead. Obviously, we're locking out the enemies here. There we go. Decrease defense. There it is. And then Dark Kael should be able to go now, and we should see something interesting here in terms of damage. Okay, 80,000 on the Trunda with the decreased defense. Increased attack on him as well. Not so good gear. I'm not gonna say he hits bad with that skill. He hits surprisingly well, to be honest. So I'm surprised. Maybe you can do like a mix of gear on him, but obviously if you're building him for the clan boss, then your speeds will be much lower and very specific compared to if you were building him for something like the Doom Tower, where north of 200, 250 is speeds that you might be looking at depending on your strategies and what you're trying to do with your champion. So it all depends on what you're looking for. Let's go and see him in the clan boss, whereas I wonder how much damage he will do. So my team that I'm thinking is 2 man-eaters, Vizier, a Farrakhan the Fat, and this guy, and we'll try to see how much damage he can do, especially through those poison activations. Because if a Vizier is in there, then Dark Kael will not need to do his poison and poison sensitivity anymore, and he should be focusing on doing his A1 pretty much for the remaining of the fight. Plus, when the all ally attack goes in there, he should be able to get like a big damage coming out of just this skill with the activations and everything. This one will be a good start, but honestly the A1 is where he's gonna shine. So let me build the team and we'll get into the clan boss. Okay guys, we have the clan boss team ready. I changed the gear a little bit on Dark Kael. He now has even more attack, but we don't care about his speed at all, so we dropped his speed a little bit. Let me see Dark Kael, and I also gave him Giant Slayer this time. So Giant Slayer is going to help with his triple hitting A1, so you get a little bit more damage kind of coming out of that. So Farrakhan the Fat will be providing HP burn, Vizier, extension of all debuffs. Although Dark Kael has that in his kit, we will be getting tons of poisons and HP burns to stay on the boss, and then the activation should bring us like a ton of damage coming out of Dark Kael. We should be seeing some good numbers. I'm hoping for at least about 35-40 million. I don't know honestly, because the gear and everybody else is not really focused on damage, so we'll see how this run goes. Okay guys, so once we have the rotation going with all our debuffs on the boss, so ideally I would have had the decreased defense there instead of the decreased attack coming out of Dark Kael. Maybe that was a mistake. I think we do have a ton of poisons, HP burn going on, and I want to see that Dark Kael just dishing out a ton of damage. So there's the A2 that he spams. He does do some good damage with that A2, and he also helps extend the duration of Diva. So that's why I think he still does it. So if I did possibly just stop the skill from working, so with custom AI, then maybe we would be able to get more damage. So we're turn count 10 with 7 million damage. If we do that times 5, then that's a 2 key just through that. But this is where the damage is coming. So Reality Acid did get some resist here. Reality Acid is his A3. Maybe I should do this run again and just disable all his skills, so he just spams that A1 just because of we basically have Vizier in here. I'll let this run go for a little bit more, but yeah, just the sheer amount of debuffs here means that he can spam his A1 and not get any, look at all those numbers there, and not get any any reduction to the HP burn or the poison. They're gonna stay there forever, and the damage potential will be huge. That Reality Acid there, when the poison extension and all the poisons are there, is pretty much useless, to be honest. That's basically a waste of a skill. So I'll go out of this run and just come back in with a proper kind of custom AI for Dark Kael. So guys, now the change to the custom AI for this specific run, I would say I would stop the A2 and the A3 from actually doing anything, because we do have a Vizier. So we're looking out for that big potential coming out of this A1, attacks one enemy 3 times. So 3 chances to actually instantly activate the poisons and HP burn. So if we have the decreased attack, we're taking up a poison slot or the decreased defense slot. And if we have this on, then he'll be spamming it, as we saw in the previous run. He'll be spamming it regardless of if there's a poison sensitivity already or a good amount of poisons already on the boss. So we'll stop these, and as most runs with a Vizier go, we will be doing the run until we get a proper amount of debuffs right on the boss, and then we'll click the auto button just to ensure that Vizier extends the right amount of debuffs. Okay, so the second time we're trying this out, we did manage to get another decreased attack on. We do have a decreased defense this time, so our damage kind of coming out of Giant Slayer and War Masters will be better this time. The decreased attack is still on. It doesn't matter though, because the activation coming out of Dark Kael is still the same. He can only activate either 2 poisons at a time or a 1 poison and a 1 HP burn. Because we've got the HP burn on the boss, then he'll be activating 1 poison and 1 HP burn. I think it's required for you to have a Vizier if you really want to see big numbers coming out of him, because he will be just making those HP burns and poisons disappear from the amount of activation that he can get with his A1. Especially if you're running something like a counter attack or an ally attack, then he will be just spamming his A1 and just constantly doing a ton of damage. We look at turn count 15 with 13 million damage here. Remember, I disabled his A2 and A3, so he just spams his A1, which is insane. Remember, if you have a team that can go more than 50 turns and enable that, you know, Dark Kael to just keep on spamming his A1, maybe a team with Vizier in there, plus Dark Kael, plus another 3, then I can't even imagine the amount of damage that we can do with Dark Kael for especially the clan boss. I think he is just an MVP in there. I want to try him out after this run on the dragon, just to see on how much damage we can get on the dragon with Dark Kael. I can imagine it's gonna be a pretty solid amount, but for dragon, if you're using just a single person, then you need probably a lifesteal set on him if you want him to survive and actually kill the boss. So we'll see on how that goes. But for the remaining of this run, guys, enjoy the run, and I'll come back right after to see on how much damage we'll get. I'm thinking about 50 million from the looks of it. I wonder if you get lucky with RNG with his A1, then it might be more, of course, or not. So enjoy the rest of the run. If you do like the music, it's soundstripe.com, cold brew, one word, you're gonna get 15% discount. Enjoy the run, and I'll come back in a bit. And guys, we're back. Definitely a very solid run. Look at Dark Kael's damage, 15.5 million and 22 million coming out of Firekin. I'm guessing because of the activation of those HP burns coming with Dark Kael. Insane amount of potential with Dark Kael. I think you don't even need Vizier to get 100% of what you're looking for out of him, because if you run possibly another HP burn champion that can also maybe apply poisons, right on the top of my head I can't think of one, but HP burn champions there's many, and a good HP burn candidate for this kind of team would be, I would say Ninja would be great for this one, just because of his damage potential plus Firekin plus Dark Kael. The only thing would be it's the fact that there will be some points where the HP burns will not be 100% on the boss because of Dark Kael. He was activating it throughout the fight. If you were watching the video, he was just kept on activating the debuff after debuff. The HP burns were running very low compared to all the other debuffs. So the decreased attack debuff was at 39 or something, and the HP burn was at 15, just because of the activation that Dark Kael was doing throughout the fight. And remember, we had Vizier there extending all the time. So there will be points if you're not running Vizier where the HP burns will just be removed, which it doesn't matter because it means you did a ton of damage, but it reduces the potential that you can get. So let's just go and see what we can get out of Dark Kael in the dungeons. Let's go and try. I want to try him in the, well, I'm not going to try 25. I'm going to try him on 24 and see what kind of damage potential we can get on 24 from him. And of course I'll use him instead of the Avatar. Alright, let's go into the Dragon 24, where he is strong affinity. 25, he's going to be weak affinity. So in terms of the poisons, he can still apply them, but his A1 can be a weak hit, and I'm guessing it will not activate the poisons, which is what we want when we go in there. So let's see on how this run goes. And of course the waves 1 and 2 are just, it really depends on what you're going to do for waves 1 and 2, but it's the boss that I want to see on how good Dark Kael is in terms of just damage potential from poisons. So he should have his poisons ready now. So there it is, 3 poisons, poison sensitivity coming out of Dark Kael. We're probably gonna get some poisons from Barrel, but he is weak affinity here. I just use him for the amount of buffs to help out Seer with the waves, and I just want to see Dark Kael just spamming his A1. Look at that amount of damage. So it was the turn also from the dragon, but it was a huge amount. But look at how low we're going. So that's why I said you kind of need to run a lifesteal set if you're gonna try something like this. So we do a decreased attack now, but yeah, Dark Kael will not survive. He definitely needs a lifesteal set, I would say. Yeah. Oh, he's alive. Okay, we can try this out. He spammed his A3 again. So maybe that's what I would like to see, if they could change his AI so he doesn't use his A3 when there's like a full list of debuffs on the boss and a poison sensitivity. That would be kind of a waste. But look at that, 1.25 million coming out of Dark Kael's poisons. Battle did a 1.1, and Seer did 4 million because she's Seer, and she just spams that on the waves, and that's why she gets a ton of damage. So this was the showcase of Dark Kael. What do you think, guys? Will you be using him? I definitely think he's the most fun champion coming out of the Doom Tower so far in terms of what you can do with him. I think a close second would be Euros in terms of utility, and also Archmage Helmu. These are the top 3 so far, with the bottom being Thea, the Tomb Angel. She's just useless compared to Dark Kael. I would take Dark Kael 200% over Thea, the Tomb Angel. Just an amazing champion. I wish players could get him much earlier than you know, the 4th champion coming out of the Doom Tower in terms of normal secret rooms rotation. Thank you guys for watching. Go do your normal Doom Tower because Dark Kael is crazy good, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a comment down below if you did enjoy this video and if you want to see Dark Kael in other kind of combos. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.